Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's time for another anime first impression. This is going to be on a Rooster Fighter, which is a series that I had heard of. I knew it was wild. I didn't know it was this wild. It is releasing on Hulu, and time of recording, I believe there is 3 episodes. Yeah, 3 episodes out already. So start releasing a few weeks ago. I didn't realize it was going to release mid-March, but it is releasing on Hulu, both subbed and dubbed, and it's also dubbed in Spanish. For those that speak Spanish, I speak Spanish. I don't watch anime typically in Spanish, but I kind of wanted to watch it to see how it is. I haven't yet though, but I did watch most of it in subbed, and then I did switch to dub just to see how it looked in the dub. And I will say the dubbed did a pretty good job with the rooster. The rooster kind of sounds very manly in the English one, so I was very impressed with what they did there. So before anything else, guys, if you haven't done so by now, make sure you subscribe to my channel, give some love by commenting, liking, and sharing. Thank you guys so much for the welcoming back messages that I've received. I am trying my best to just release as I can, and if I can, so thank you again for that love and support that you do show this channel, and let's continue growing, because even though I was gone, I was still growing. So that's also an amazing and a very nice thing to just see. So okay, let's talk about Rooster Fighter. Now, my anime list has it at a 7 out of 10, and usually once 3 episodes are released, that's pretty much the rating that you want to follow. Typically on my first impression videos, it's only been 1 episode, so my anime list rating is not the best, because you get just like the very early people who are very dedicated to watching every single anime, which, that was me at one point. Not there quite yet again, but it does differ from the common viewer. So usually you want to wait to about 3-4 episodes to really see that rating fluctuate a little bit up or higher. And to be honest, it releasing on Hulu should have more votes, should have more people watching it, just because at least here in the US, that's a very big streaming company, but we don't have a lot of voters still per se. But yeah, it's 7 is a pretty good, decent starting rating. Anything higher than a 7, you want to give it a chance. So definitely want to give this one a chance. I will say, before I start with explaining the episode, warnings, there is suggestive content in this one. Yeah, I mean, it can get gory, I guess, but not really. But yeah, so we follow the story of this rooster, and the first scene is wild and not ever concluded, which bothered me, because why didn't they conclude the first scene? But essentially, in the first scene, there's this huge demon shows up in the middle of nowhere, and is trying to take this little boy, and right before he's basically eaten by a huge demon, basically the start of Attack on Titan being relived, we have this rooster who saves them and basically makes a stand against the monster. And then the episode goes into the intro of the episode, and after that we don't see that scene ever again. So I'm like, what the heck happened? But anyways, we get a little bit of who he is. This is where the suggestiveness comes. He is making love with a hen, and obviously they're animals, but still a little weird that they have that scene twice. I would just say that, in the beginning and the end. But anyways, he goes out and basically becomes like this wild chicken and the rooster in the he's a rooster in the streets, and some boys are picking on him, and an old man defends him, and like that whole interaction, you wonder why he just never could defend himself, but I guess he didn't want to use powers against humans. But then after that normalness, we get another giant demon attack the city, and this is where we see him basically show his powers. Now, throughout this whole scenes happening, and the kids bullying him, and the old man saving him, and then feeding him, we get flashbacks. We get his flashback and the old man's flashback. The old man's flashback essentially is a wife that he lost a few years ago. She used to feed birds there in the yard, so that's why he decided to feed him. Very cute. Actually, I did get a little emotional, maybe just a tad, for the old man. But beyond that, we don't get much about him anymore. The rest of the flashbacks are about the rooster, and essentially, just a long story short, he lost his sister to a demon. Demon ate her sister, and that's when his powers awakened, and he realized that he has this screech power now that can crack mirrors, or he can match frequencies so much that it makes the monsters explode. So, yeah, we see him in action. We see him basically a big monster against a rooster. Means pretty ridiculous, but he's able to destroy it with picking his eye and then using this screech power that he has. So that in a nutshell was like the 98% of the episode. It's very wild. It's very over the top. It's very comical in its own way, I guess. It's not for everybody. I don't want to say this is a parody series, but it almost feels like it is. The genres are put as action and comedy, which, yeah, both of those are good genres. There is some type of parody-ness behind it, mocking the action comedy genre, because it's a rooster. Like, come on, it's a rooster. So it is kind of mocking that, like the whole background story. He has a very tragic story, and he is a lover, but also doesn't stay in one place. Like, there's all these tropes that we get from other heroes or other people that are like him in other stories. So I will say this is a little bit of a parody. Now, 2% left of the series. Right after the credits, we get another scene, which is a hen. She's a black hen, and she's actually in the cover of the page. So we know that she is somewhat important to the story, and I don't know how important she is, but I guess she's going to be another fighter who just shows up and is also killing these demons. Now, beyond that, I don't know much more of what's going to happen, if they're going to team up. There is a little chick as well in the picture and another rooster in the back. So I'm wondering if they're going to make like a team of a bunch of chickens and roosters fighting these demons, or if there's going to be competition amongst them. I don't know, but it looks pretty wild. It looks pretty over the top, but people love that nowadays. And I mean, I do enjoy it myself once in a while. So I will be watching this sporadically as the season goes. Just whenever I'm feeling down, I guess, that's when I'll be watching it. So thank you guys so much for watching this. If you haven't done so by now, make sure you watch my other videos. I have more first impressions already out. Hopefully one more today, maybe 2 more. So I've watched the series. I've watched about 3 more series. It's just getting myself to record and post takes a little while, but it is what it is. Thank you guys so much for watching, and like always, don't be strangers. See you guys.